Very interesting and important Bible code. For Passover, before seeing the table, let us see what Exodus 20:42 says, because this is really like the title of this table that you are going to see. So what is written there? It was a night of washing unto the Lord, for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This same night is a night of washing unto the Lord for all the children of Israel throughout their generation. So this is a verse in Exodus chapter 12, verse 42. The explanation for it, one of them, there are many others, but this is the Rashbam on Exodus. He says on the Hebrew, Leil Shimorim Ul Hashem, which is, it was a night of washing to the Lord. God had been anticipating this night ever since the days of the patriarchs in order to have the opportunity to lead the Jewish people out of Egypt. For the Jewish people, on the other hand, this night now became a night to be remembered. Now, things happened in this night of Passover, many of them, and it is really called watching night because of these following events. There are many more. So number one, which is A, that God kept the expected this night to keep his promise to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So this means Shimurim, watching, is God kept and expected, because this is the meaning of the word watching. The number B, according to what is reserved for the future redemption. Then C, a night in which he saved Daniel from the lion's den. We know the story, very famous story. D, a night in which Messiah and Elijah grow. This expression of the rabbis. But in fact, many more happened, like with Sancherib, the soldiers of Sancherib. You know the story. Many other events, but these are the main one. But definitely the most important that we are going to concentrate it is what in Exodus. Now, what we see here in this table basically is this verse that you saw, Leil Shimorim Ul Hashem, like night of watching to God, Lotziam Tzam is trying to bring them out, the children of Israel from Israel. This night, Shamur is kept, the Kol Bnei Israel Dotam, for all the children of Israel for generation. The indication that the future redemption also will be on this night. So this is what comes in this table, amazing. So what is the table about? What is in this table? So you know quite well, when you speak about future redemption, this is the time of Messiah. We have here in black, minimal in the Old Torah, the word Meshichim, Messiahs in plural, amazing. Yeah, Messiahs, Mesichim, and the question, who are those? Yeah. 4 names of Messiah. Definitely doesn't mean there are 4 different people, but 4 functions of the Messiah, which is the name of Menachem, very famous. Menachem, you can see it in the center in yellow. Menachem. The Nun is sharing with the son of Jesse, Ben Ishai. In green, Ben Ishai, son of Jesse. And Menachem is one of the names of Messiah. Menachem means in Hebrew comforting. So it means that function, the goal of Messiah will be to comfort the Jewish people after so many suffering from anti-Semites and all kind of terror and all kind of troubles they are suffering. This is really like labor pain for Messiah. So Menachem, one of the name of Messiah, is to comfort. Then we have another name which is quite famous, parallel in green, Shiloh. Shiloh means in Hebrew, Shiloh. Presents will given to him. Why? Because the world will realize the contribution of Jews to the world. Yeah, not only in technique, but in spirituality. Amazing. Then we have also another name, which is Inon, which you see here. You have really Messiah, Mashiach, Inon. Inon means ruler, leader. And this is what will be. We lead the Jewish people, even maybe the world. So this is amazing phenomena in the Torah, Meshichim, Messiahs in plural. And we understand why, because they appear here and clearly tell us what is their function, what is their goal. And as we see, this is really the indication to it in this verse, in Exodus, that this Pesach night, Passover night, is a preparation for it. Now the verses which are here did not translate, but telling us that God will remember you, will save you, and also mention here commandments, commandments that you should keep. Hashem natan lachem Shabbat, God gave you the Sabbath to keep. Mitzvotai, Torotai, should keep my commandments. And salvation comes here in red. And wiping out the Amalekites, the enemies of Israel. Then, what is interesting, if you followed my YouTube before, Kabbalists told me always that you should see in the places, your findings in your tables about redemption Messiah, you will find the story of Purim. It means you will find Esther, you will find Cyrus, you will find Mordechai, and even Purim, as we see in the other side of the table. Why? Because our redemption now, waiting for, will be very similar to the redemption that Jews had in Purim from Haman. And today, hoping to get it for Amanai. You have your Amanai, black, Amanai. So, what we see here, clearly, that the redemption that we'll have from Hamanahi, from Iran, which comes here also, it will be very similar, and not only similar, but in fact, preparation, salvation is written that the salvation of Jews for Purim will be the eternal salvation that we are going to have now. Amazing. Because now exactly we are in the same situation, like at that time, Haman threatened to wipe out Jews, young and old. The same thing today. We have Hamanai in Iran who are also threatening to wipe out Jews, Israel, like Haman at that time. Unbelievable. Now, definitely, by praying and doing Shuvah, you have here really minimal in the Old Torah, the word ha-teshuvah, the repentance, returning to the Torah. This is written exactly with the story when Pharaoh, with the Egyptians, chased Israel. This is what is written, Paro ikriv, Pharaoh came near, and Jews saw it, and they lifted their eye to heaven and prayed, and there's a miracle of the Red Sea, splitting of the sea, amazing. We're hoping also now to have miracles to get really rid of all these enemies of Israel, anti-Semites, and especially Iran, who are doing the bomb and hundred thousands of rockets and missiles ready to wipe out Israel. Frightening. Exactly the same thing, La Purim. So this is why we have here the name of Esther. You can hear Esther, and again Esther and Cyrus. Unbelievable. Because the same thing. You have Esther 3 times here. And hoping that we have this great victory over them. And even you have this here in green. Tav, Shin, Pei, Bet. 5782, exactly sabbatical year, that in the beginning there are wars and fightings, but in the end of it, our rabbis tell us in Sanhedrin, Tractate Sanhedrin 97a, that Messiah will come. And we saw that Rab Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal said that it will be, he promised will be. So we have here also in Hebrew, if God will look at him, God will remember you, will save you, and Mashiach comes here. So looking into this table, unbelievable, exactly everything what you have in this verse, the night of watching, which is a night that God really watch and wait to save the Jewish people and to redeem them, and Elijah and Messiah. So it is a very significant table as it appears in one book, which is Exodus, and few chapters. Yeah, mainly 13, 14, 15, a little bit of 17. Unbelievable, very, very significant. So many words which are definitely relevant to the table. Then, as we said, if you look in the same table, really, you see this is the same table, you can see Tshuva and so on. And then we have, you can see clearly Cyrus here, and then salvation and Elijah will come. And you have the year 5781, because we say that according to Khatam Sofer, the process of redemption will start with 5781 and will carry on into 5782. The sabbatical, amazing. This you see here. So also in the same part of the same table, you can see clearly the verses, the chapters and verses are the same place. And then we have, very interesting, the same table, but a little bit more to the right, you have prohibition, don't eat chametz, unleavened bread. God will remember you, will redeem you. And Purim, parallel, as we said, there's the redemption of Purim, what happened in Purim is going to happen now. Yeah, so you have Purim parallel, which is very, very significant. In fact, you have here also, it is quite long thing, but you have here again Esther and keep my commandments definitely. And here telling us the Vayachlos Yeshua, that Yeshua overwon the Amalekites with the sword and tracing, and the Amalekites, we have them today also, yeah. For those who want to destroy Israel. Then, as we said, very, very interesting table, being in very small area, as you see, 14, 15, a little bit of 16, 17. But, as I said, the most important condition for redemption is repentance and keeping the Shabbos, yeah, which is written there. God gave you the Shabbos, you have to keep it. If you keep it, then your Messiah will come and he will be saved from Iran, from Amanai, and Messiah will come with Moses and Elijah. Then you have really Cyrus. Kabbalist says, the great Kabbalist, Rabbi Cook said that Koresh Cyrus, who was called by God Messiah of God in Isaiah 42, because he was recognized in Israel, he allowed them to settle. So he said the same thing. Donald Trump was the same, also recognized Israel. and the prophecies, no doubt. And yes, spark of Cyrus, the same thing. But, and in fact, it is interesting that many, I mean, they made a survey now that more than 60% of the people say that if Donald Trump would be the president of the state, would not have the trouble that we have today with Biden, because at that time, the connection, relationship between Benjamin Netanyahu, was the president, prime minister of Israel, and Putin, was a very, very good relationship. And they said clearly that if he will be the president and Netanyahu will be, so we will not have terrible time like we have now, Ukrainians, and the invasion will not happen. No, but unfortunately, Democrats is Gimatia Satan. They are doing things against Torah, especially against the 7 laws of Noach, which are the severe one. They allow abortion, homosexuality, and this is what brought the flood, you know, quite well, with so many YouTubes, it proves it. So, no doubt that we are now in very difficult times, and hoping that really this night, no Passover, if Jews will return to the Torah, will keep the Sabbath. Quite difficult to have such a government like this heresy government who really allow the execution of Shabbos and allow many things against Torah, which made us very angry, and he brought the flood because of this. So, as I said, very, very interesting table, especially when really like the title and the most important message here, telling us that this night of Passover is a night of watching, and God is really watching. He watched and he took out Jews, Eretz Mitzrayim, on this night, and then he keeps it for future generation, Messiah and this. So very, very interesting and very, very significant table. Only what we have to wait for, that Israel, Jews, and the world, the Gentile, realize there is a God, and only by keeping Jews, the old Torah, Sabbath and everything, and the non-Jewish world, and the Gentiles there, so we will not have troubles. Then, as is written, salvation, happiness and joy, Messiah and Elijah and Moses will come and bring happiness and joy to Israel. By the way, here is also parallel, like we had before Purim and Esther, Mordechai, it was used this year, but Mordechai in parallel, because also, like at that time, Jews listened to Mordechai and Esther, yeah, which we have here a few times, Esther, yeah. So the Jews listened to them, and they returned to the Torah, the Shabbos, they did repentance, and they married to have this wonderful happiness, joy in Purim. The time of the Holocaust, that according to Kabbalists, in Chatam Sofer, the Rebbe, the Holocaust was really returning, repetition, in a repeating of the story of the decree of Haman. At that time, the Holocaust in Germany, the people did not listen to the rabbis, reform, and so did against the Torah. And this rabbi said that because of this, you will have Holocaust. So, hoping that now the danger is great, we have hundred thousands missiles and rockets and these achutas and Yemen with ballistic, hoping the Jews will return, will keep Torah and mitzvot, and will do tshuva, and then really will have Messiah, great salvation, happiness and joy to Israel and to the whole world.